Okay, I am making a video for you guys today to show you how to post your puppy's ears after ear cropping. I'll show you everything that you need as far as supplies, how to make the posts, and how to properly put them in your puppy's ears so they stand correctly. I got all of this stuff at Walmart, so I know it might seem weird, but I'm telling you, I've done this hundreds of times, and this is the absolute best way I've learned to do it. I've tried many different ways with skin glue. This is the best. So you need to buy cardboard. It has to be cardboard applicator tampons. And for whatever reason, I cannot seem to find the packs that have just the individual sizes on them. The whole thing is one size. This is like a combo pack or a multi-pack, which I'm not really a fan of because it doesn't have the one that I suggest using. I mean, it'll still work, but ideally it'd be good to have the next size bigger, which is Super Plus, I believe. So you need those. You need either gauze, or I use these because they're so much cheaper and they do the exact same thing, and they're round, so I mean these work a little better, but gauze work too. You need medical tape. There's the cloth kind, or I have another one somewhere. There's the cloth kind, or there's paper. You can use either one that you want. Just make sure that it's medical tape. I got this by the Band-Aids and stuff, so as long as it's medical tape, it should be sensitive skin or for sensitive skin. Most people and animals won't have an allergy to this, or won't have issues, or their skin won't break out. You need 70% rubbing alcohol, isopropyl alcohol. I put it in a spray bottle because it just makes it easier. I mean, dumping this and trying to do what you need to do is a little difficult, but a spray bottle, just a little baby spray bottle. Then you need waterproof tape. Okay, this stuff is thinner, or not as wide. This is, I'd say, maybe a ½ inch. It probably says right on here, actually. Yeah, this is a ½ inch. This is an inch. So you need the ½ inch. And I'm so sorry, the lighting is really not good in my room right now. But this is a, not plasticky, but it's almost like a Band-Aid. It's like a rubbery kind of tape. It says waterproof on it. Again, I got all this stuff at Walmart. This is cloth tape, where they have stuff that's called fabric or paper tape. Also, you can use whatever one you want. This one works a little easier, and it seems like they always have this one in stock. And then you need 2 of the same size tampons. I prefer the Super Plus, but like I said, I couldn't find those. As long as they're cardboard applicators and not the plastic, you can do this. Get some scissors, just in case. And then cotton balls. And then I'll show you guys how to make the forms, and then how to put them in your puppy's ears so they stand correctly. Okay, I'm going to show you how to make the form now. So, you take your tampon, and you open it. And you take your scissors, and then you cut the extra part of the string off. So the remaining sticking out string. And these scissors are not the greatest. I feel like I need to back you guys up a little bit. Okay. So now, you have your tampon, right? So you have that end. And then you have the other end. What you want to do is you want to grab your puppy and then measure the length. So the very bottom of their ear, on the side of their head, there's kind of a little divot kind of thingy. So you have their head, and here's their ear. Right at the very bottom, there's kind of a little bulge right there. So take this, put it right there where you think the very end of that is, and then measure up to the top of their ear. And you can either cut this at that length, which you probably will end up having to do seeing how they're puppies. So hypothetically, we're just guessing here, but we're going to say we need it about that long. So you can cut it off at that length. Jeez, these scissors are just amazing. Alright. So once you have it the length that you need it for your puppy, you're going to take it, and so, because this will separate, this will come off. So to prevent that from happening, you grab a piece of tape, and you want to tape these two pieces together. So right there where they meet, take a piece of tape. It doesn't matter which one, but the 1-inch wide tape seems to work a little better. And go around it. And since this bottom part's bigger than the top part, you're going to end up with kind of like a gap between the tape. Just take it and squish it around there. So now you taped two pieces together, and it's secure. It won't get shorter, it won't get longer. Okay, so now that you have it the size or the length that you need, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to grab one of those cotton rounds. Either side, doesn't matter, they're the same. And on this part, the part that has these little like tabby thingies, okay, you're going to put that in the center and kind of just wrap it around the bottom. Doesn't have to be perfect. And then you take your tape, again the 1-inch tape works a little better in this situation. Oh, almost dropped it. And you tape around the cotton. This is kind of tedious and difficult, this part, but kind of make it tight to hold it all together, folding it kind of around there as it goes. Never mind my crazy dogs, I'm sure there's deer outside. Okay, so once you have it secured, jeez, this tape doesn't want to rip. I'm going to get my amazing scissors again. That works so great. Oh, well, they worked great on that. Okay, so we taped the cotton on to the bottom of the tampon, and again, just kind of squeeze the tape around it so it's secure and it doesn't come off. Okay, so now you have your cotton, and the reason why this is important is because remember the little tabby things I was showing you, those will poke your puppy's ears. You don't want like the straight cardboard edge to be in your puppy's ear like that, because that's not going to feel very good. Another very important reason why you need cotton at the bottom is because this will help absorb moisture and keep the puppy's ears dry. And if I can tell you anything about this process that's more important than anything else, it would be make sure your puppy's ears stay dry. If they get wet for any reason, I mean, if they go outside and it's snowing, and I mean, I know that seems very inconvenient, but you do not want their ears to get wet like that. That's infection, that will cause issues with the ears. So if the ears get wet for any reason, it is just, I strongly recommend taking the forms out of their ears and redoing them. Better to be safe than sorry. I'm not a vet or a surgeon. I am not a professional by any means, but from experience, if there's any moisture that's in your puppy's ears, it can and usually will develop infection and cause extra scar tissue that you don't need, and it could affect the way the ears stand. So just make sure they're always dry. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to take the waterproof tape and you're going to go around, again, don't mind my dogs, you're going to go around the bottom. This tape doesn't want to really stick to the other tape very well, so just go around until you overlap where you started. Okay, once you overlap, you're going to take the tape and you're going to flip it. Okay, flip it. Yeah, there's definitely deer outside. Flip the tape. So now the sticky side is out. Flip it and keep wrapping it, overlapping slightly for the length of your form. I know it doesn't look pretty, but I promise you it will do what it needs to do here in a minute. Keep going, kind of put some pressure on it, keep it tight, overlapping as you go. And if you can avoid it, try not to touch the tape, because the sticky part is what's going to hold the form in the ear. I mean, if you do, it's not the end of the world, but just keep going around. Again, make sure the sticky side is out at this point. Okay, you go all the way to the top. And that stuff rips pretty easily. All the way at the top, and then the very end of the tape, you want to make sure that you don't keep going up like that. Make sure you fold it on itself, because then it'll stick. So now, there's your form. Jeez, and it's very, very sticky. So, the whole thing is wrapped from the bottom to the top, backwards, with the sticky side out. And then the part with the cotton at the bottom is what goes in your puppy's ear. And then this will be at the top. So that's how you make the form. It's super easy. You can make the next one, and then when you're ready, you can put it in your puppy's ear. Okay, we are back. Let's see if I can zoom this in at all. Okay, so we got a little Miss Vita with her little jacket. The first thing that I would suggest doing is to get your tape ready. So like 3 or 4 shorter pieces. They're maybe, I don't know, 3-4 inches long, and then 3 pieces that are probably 5 or 6 inches long, so almost like double what it is. And then that's this tape. That's the 1-inch tape. And then you get 1 piece that's about 3 to 4 inches of the waterproof tape. So what you do before anything else, and where did I put them? Oh, they're on the bed. You take your little spray bottle with your rubbing alcohol and your cotton balls. She's like, food? No, it's not food, honey. Okay. She has no idea what's happening. Do not, please do not, because it scares them. And in case you miss and it goes in their eyeball or something, don't spray this directly in their ear. Take your cotton ball and spray it on the cotton ball. Just get it like damp, okay? And then I'm going to do this here so I can show you guys. And you clean. You want to clean very good. Get down in there. And rubbing alcohol does not hurt them unless they have like sores or cuts or anything like that on their ears, which usually they don't. Oh, that's another thing. I do not want you guys doing anything to your baby's ears until they are fully healed. Okay, so that means like this whole area right here where they had them cropped at. Gosh, this lighting is just so horrible. The cut edge. So, I mean, you'll know what the cut edge is. You'll see it. Okay? And then they'll have sutures in there. Until there's no scabs on there, don't do anything. Just let their ears be. I promise you they're going to stand when it's time. You want to get down inside their ear, clean it very well. You can use cotton balls. They tend to like it. Like, she's like closing her eyes and really enjoying this right now, but clean in there very, very well. Okay? Now, if you took the post down, clean them, not immediately after. Just take the post down, let them run around without anything in their ears. Let them have some freedom. Let them air out. Before you post them, you need to clean them like excessively well. Make sure there's nothing in there. And rubbing alcohol, I like using that because not only is it like a disinfectant, but it also like evaporates very quickly, so you won't have like any wetness in there. Okay, she wants to get up. I think she knows what's about to happen, so can you sit? Here, I brought something for you. Can you sit? You gotta sit. Come here, sit. Do you want the chip? She's like, no, I know things are gonna happen. You can have it. I'm sure you guys know, but this is my trusty model. This is Vita. This is the mama's. Her ears, she's not holding them up now because she's kind of freaking out. Her ears stand. I don't need to be doing this, but I'm doing this so I can show you guys. Okay. Hopefully she cooperates. You take your post from earlier that you made. Can you come here? Can you come closer? No? Okay, fine. We'll just zoom back out. Okay. Take your post with the cotton side down, and then you want to take their ear, like the tip, the top part of their ear, the higher up part, and you take this and go kind of at an angle. God, I wish this lighting was better. Yeah, Vita's like, what is happening? Hold your head right there, pretty girl. Kind of at an angle, and twist it and wiggle it until you get it down inside their ear. There's like a little pocket right here. You want to twist it and get it against this pocket right here on the side of their head or lower jaw or right below the ear, okay? Push it until you can't. Don't push it too hard to hurt them, but you want it to rest in that pocket, okay? The next thing you want to do is take the ear and stretch it. Again, not hard enough to hurt them. Up the top of the form. So pull it so that way there is constant tension or pressure pulling the ear up. And it's resting against this bottom part on the inside. So it's not like it's going to push down or droop down. Okay, like I said, these are too tall. Vita's ear stops here and the post goes up a little higher, which is not a big deal. But to avoid them hitting their head on stuff and jabbing their ear, I like to make them just past the tip of the ear. Okay, so now you take your piece of tape, your waterproof tape, the skinnier tape, and you go on the back of the ear, the back of the skin, about halfway on the actual ear, and put just a little pressure to pull up and go over the form and stick it to itself on the other side. That will keep the tip of the ear from like curling. I don't know if you've ever seen like Dobermans with their ears where the tip of the ear kind of curls in a little bit. This prevents that, okay? So now, as you can see, that's holding the ear in place. So even if they're relaxed, it's still straightening the cartilage of the ear, okay? Vita is like really not sure what is even happening right now. So you take your bigger piece of tape, and here's another important little piece right here. This inside flap, so you can see where her head is. Here's her head, forehead. There's like a little flap of skin right here on the front part of their ear. You want to take that and you want to fold it backwards. So kind of fold it on itself, but not when you tape it. Keep that in mind. You want to put the tape on the inside, on the bottom. I don't know if you guys can see that. The inside of the bottom, kind of at an angle. Remember, this is the sticky side, so it wants to stick to this tape or the form really well. When you come to this part right here, the little flappy thing, the reason why you go this way out, like up, is to help keep that flap of the ear pushed. But when you come around this way, do not do it too tight, because then their skin's folded on itself. You go around very lightly. Don't put any tension. Don't pull the tape right here. You do not want these tight. You could cut off circulation. I'm going to grab my phone and actually show you now. Okay? You do it, like, you see how loose that is? With all, like, the extra tape. I don't know if you can see that. It's very loose. Okay? Phone back. Okay, so there's one. Get your butt over here. Now, I know your instinct is going to want to be to try to squish that tape and make it tight. Don't do that yet. Just wait, okay? Here, rest your head right there. You know, you're doing such a good job. You want another treat? Another treat? Good job, okay? Now take your other bigger piece of tape that you got and do the same thing. Start on the inside. Hopefully you guys can see that. Put your head this way so they can see what we're doing here. Overlap it slightly. Go on the inside. Lightly go around, overlapping the tape a little bit. Okay? Now you can go around again. Just keep it light. You do not want to pull this. Too much pressure. Again, do you see this like opening right here? The tape is so loose that there's like an opening. Okay? I clearly grabbed too much tape because in my head I'm picturing I'm posting 2 ears. I'm only doing one, so there's too much tape. Smaller piece of tape, same thing. Start on the inside, go around very lightly. Just make sure you overlap where you started, and then where you end, make sure you overlap it, or the tape will start peeling up on itself, or peeling up away from it. Okay, again, loose. It's so loose that I can put my finger between the tape and the form. This, at the very top right here with all this extra, you can fold it in so your next piece lays down nicely, but don't put too much pressure. Okay, inside, around. And it's, depending on how you do this or how you start your tape, it might want to tip down or angle down, which is totally fine. When you get to the top, you can angle it around however it wants to go. So now you have the tape on there. You have it very loosely. There's nothing too tight. So now what you want to do is that's when you take your hand and kind of just squish the tape so it's flat. All them loose spots that you see are no longer loose. But it's, you didn't tape it tight to where it can't move on its own. So if this is uncomfortable and the puppy shakes its head, or if it wants to lift its ear and like get excited and not, it can move freely in there. So that's how you tape the ear. Okay? Don't leave any gaps. I'm doing this without actually being able to see very well, but right here between the two pieces of tape, I'm not sure if you can see that, there's a gap. I can see her skin, I can see her ear through that. You don't want to do that, because if that were to split open, the ear will start to come out between those pieces of tape, and you could have like a, it's like buckling, like the ear will go like this, and then it won't want to stand. So make sure you overlap each piece of tape as you go. So there's one form. And you don't want to use an excessive amount of tape because you want these to breathe. Any wetness, any liquid, any moisture that's happening right here, you want airflow to happen. Okay. There's one more thing that you can do. You don't have to do. Some people like doing it, but you want the muscles. You know what? Come over here. Thank you. You want the muscles. You want them to work their own muscles and hold their own ears. Come here. So these muscles right here, between their ears, when they're like forehead wrinkles like that, those muscles are what need to be strengthened. So you want to just leave, even if they're sitting like this, that's fine. Okay? They're not going to stay that way permanently. You want them to work them muscles and strengthen those muscles between their ears. The cartilage is already being formed right here. You don't want to really do anything to hold these together. Some people put cups on the head and tape them. You don't want to do that. That makes it so they don't have to work those muscles, okay? So when their ears are taped like this, it's helpful, and I have found it helpful where you make noise or like go every once in a while, and they'll put their ears up. You're working the muscles, okay? But after you do this a few times, and you let them go, and they're free, and they get time to like air out. What was that? You thought the kids were coming home? They will be soon. So after you do this a couple of times and you let their ears air out and be free, again, you take these off, give them about an hour. Let them have about an hour to like have their ears free, to air out, to get a break, okay? But if their ears are still like this, and even if you make noise and their ears are still wanting to stay like this, like the third or fourth time of posting their ears, just like this, one at a time, you know, this one's over here, that one's over there, you can make a bridge, it's called. And this might be hard to do since I didn't tape the other side. But the bridge, you would need one of these longer pieces of tape, maybe even a little longer. And from the form, you want to go down about an inch, inch and a half on the outside. So the outside of the form. And then you take your other piece. Again, it's going to be difficult because this side's not taped, but let's just pretend. And you take the other piece and you go to the other form. Now I'm going to hold this here because she's going to want to try to relax it. But then get your booty over here, Missy. They cannot see. Now if there was a form in there, it wouldn't lay on her head like that. But that'll keep them. That'll keep them. She wants to run away. That'll keep them together. It's called a bridge. Jeez, Vita. Come here. You're a model and you know it. Don't be camera shy. Okay, now she's sitting, but now you can't see. Down. There we go. Now if this was taped, there's your bridge. It'll keep them from tipping over. She's holding her head sideways because she does not like what's happening. But there's your bridge. It'll keep this side from falling, that side from falling. I don't really like doing that because that makes it so they don't have to use these muscles themselves. Okay? You can keep these on. You can keep the forms on. She's really like disliking me at the moment. You can keep the forms on for, I don't know, 3 or 4 days, maybe 5 days if you're watching them and paying attention to them and making sure that they're not wet. Now, I'm serious when I tell you guys that if their ears get wet, you have to take their ears down. Like, I'm serious. That is like a huge deal. So now, if you spend all this time, did all this work, posted the ears, they look great, you struggled with it, and you're like, oh, that was such a hassle, and then you let your puppy go, and your puppy trips over his water bowl and lands in the water and his ears are wet, take them down. Like, just trust me on that. If their ears get wet, if they go outside in the rain, if their ears get wet in the forms, take the ears down and redo them. Like, it's not worth the possibility of infection. And I'm not a vet. I'm not a surgeon. I'm not saying that I know better than anybody else. I just know what has worked for me. And the last thing you want to do when trying to post ears is have an infection happen, because then you can't tape them anymore. You have to let them heal. And then you risk them not ever standing. So if they get wet, take them down and redo them. Some people will I need scissors. Some people will tape let the ears stay down for a week. Like, they'll let them have like a week, or maybe even like 2 or 3 days. The kids must be home. 2 or 3 days without being taped. And she's gonna want to run away now because Dad's barking. Anyway, people will take their puppy's ears out and then let them be out for a few days. I would not suggest more than, maybe at the absolute most, I got it out now, I wouldn't suggest more than, I don't know, 2 or 3 hours of a break, unless you think that the skin's irritated, or unless you think that like there's sores in there, or that moisture got in there and you just want to be extra cautious. I wouldn't do more than a few hours without the post in there if you want them to stand quicker. Now, if you don't care if it takes 3 or 4 months to stand, then you can let them have breaks longer than that. Usually you can get it done and accomplish it in 2 or 3 months of posting, as long as you're consistent, and as long as you make sure that you keep the ears dry. Now, obviously, she does not want to put her ears up. Well, maybe she will. Let's see. I got hurt only because I had her ears done when she was like 10 weeks old. It was toward the end of the time where vets are like, they're too old. Again, I've done this a lot, so I know that when they're older, the cartilage is usually thicker, and it tends to stand a little bit better. I posted her ears. I promise you her ears are perfect, and she's just listening outside right now. But I posted her ears. I taped them 3 times. 3 different times. And they were standing perfectly. Vita. So just be consistent. Make sure you keep an eye on them. Make sure they're not wet. And if they're wet, redo them. That's all. If you guys have any questions or if you need help, you can call me and let me know. Or text me. And if you need to see it like a closer up video of how to make the forms, or the products that I use, or supplies that you need, just let me know, and I will let you guys, or I'll help you guys in any way I can. So I decided, since I'm awesome, that I am going to include a puppy ear cropping posting kit for you guys that has all of the stuff that you need to post your puppy's ears. So you'll get a little bag of cotton balls for cleaning their ears. You'll get those cotton rounds, which there's 8 of them. There's sets of 2 is what I did. So that'll help you make 4 forms for posting. So you can post your ears 4 times with what I'm including for you, just to get you guys started. And then your cardboard applicator tampons that you need. I will tell you that these top 2 are the smaller ones, the smallest ones that were in that multi-pack. So use these ones first, that's why I put them at the top. These are the smallest ones, and as your puppy grows, you can use the other sizes. If you happen to find the cardboard applicator ones at Walmart that are Super Plus, it's called, those ones I feel work the best, and you can use it from when they're little puppies to older, when you're toward the end of posting. But there's 8 of them in there, which, you know, 2 for each one, obviously, so that's 4 sets. Your little spray bottle with your rubbing alcohol in it, or your isopropyl alcohol, the same spray bottle that I use, nice and convenient to spray it on a cotton ball, clean your puppy's ears. And then a bag of tape. This is the tape we used today, which is the cloth tape. This is a paper tape. It rips easier, but it's more breathable. So if your puppy has issues, or if it seems like its skin's kind of getting irritated with using this cloth one that's thicker, doesn't breathe as well. I mean, it's usually fine, but if you use this and it seems to cause any issues at all, try switching to this paper tape. It's thinner and it's more breathable. And then the waterproof tape. So there's that. And that'll all come in the kit for you guys. I'm going to include it in their puppy pack, so you guys have everything you need to get started.